Hello and welcome to my programming class. I do have a BA degree in computer science management from a local college dating back to the 1990s, so I am qualified. This class is geared toward a small business person or a hobbyist who needs to utilize some computing assets. There are three popular computing models of which none will be satisfactory, and therefore I am going to recommend an alternative. C++, this is one of the most popular compilers, but is really geared toward large corporations or professional developers with large budgets. It generates ultra-fast programs, but it can be very technical. This is really for professional programmers who have a large library of technical books. Very minor errors can cause data corruption, and the compiler does very little error detection. It does everything it can to get speed, and many of those things are dangerous. To quote Brian Kerrigan, I think C is by design a very, very sharp tool, and you can cut yourself as well as cutting through things. Python. The programs are much easier to write, but generate slow code. Yes, a high school student may very well be able to throw a system together for you, and everything may seem okay and quick when it is first set up, but data grows over time, and the runtime of your Python programs may grow exponentially as your data grows. This may result in frequent hardware updates to get reasonable runtimes. Web apps, they are popular, but their performance can be lackluster. One would need to invest in a fast web and database server to make sure your network is up to the job. Security can be an issue with both Python and/or web apps, requiring the need for frequent security audits or risk dealing with a break-in after the fact. I once worked for a large corporation that had an app written in C. When first installed, it had a Windows binary executable. They modernized it into a web app, and the performance became intolerable. There were upgrades to network components and network servers, and it took a whole year to get reasonable performance out of that system. I also know someone who works for a nonprofit, and they use a database that runs over the World Wide Web, and every time the internet drops, they go offline. So for hours, they have employees twiddling their thumbs, waiting for the internet to come back up. What a waste of money. I am going to recommend Pascal, specifically the free Pascal compiler and the GUI front end and toolkit Lazarus. Pascal is an older language dating back to the early 70s. It was originally designed to be a teaching language, and yet it generates relatively fast programs. Not ultra fast, but fast enough for business-type programs, and it will execute in only a few percent slower than the equivalent C++ program. I will also show you how to link it up with MySQL or MariaDB, a moderately fast database server. A lot of the examples I will show you will run in the command prompt, but most of the source code and ideas behind them are easily incorporated into a Lazarus app, which produces graphical windowing type programs. Just like C++, the programs are compiled into the computer's native machine language, which is the hardest type of programs for a hacker to manipulate. The source code need not be present locally or even on the same network. Only the executable need be present. This makes the hacker's job much more difficult. For a technical library, 3 books will suffice. A book on Turbo Pascal. For this class, I recommend reading Pascal Made Simple by P.K. McBride. It is virtually free and the Kindle on Amazon. It is not the best book, but it is cheap. For the long run, a former textbook is ideal. I still have my old college textbook, Turbo Pascal by Walter Savage, which I think is wonderful. Free Pascal is a superset of the Turbo Pascal language. All of the old source code still works. A book on Delphi programming, one could easily find something on Amazon, either digital or printed. Lazarus is based on the Delphi programming model, and the source code is very similar. A book on MySQL would also be necessary. There should be many such books in your local bookstore or on Amazon.